Thank you for coming to our channel, where we bring you the most dramatic, surprising and breathtaking episodes from the long-running series The Young and the Restless. In today's episode, we will take you on a bloody journey of survival, where instinct, will and courage collide violently between life and death. A nightmare with no way out. Where Nick, a man who is strong and brave, is pushed to the limit of his body and mind when he falls into the hands of the madman Carter. And while darkness covers all hope, can Nick escape that deadly trap? The answer will gradually be revealed through each breathless tension below. Under the gray sky of a deserted suburb, where cold winds seep through every crack of the abandoned house, Nick is imprisoned like a shadow of himself. His body gradually withered. His mind was broken because of being tortured by Carter, a madman, obsessed with the past and power. Carter not only imprisoned him but also turned every moment of his life into a series of invisible tortures. His threats, brutal beatings, and sick control made Nick feel like he was being stripped of his human skin. Hunger, cold, and prolonged isolation eroded his will. But in the depths of suffering, the fire of life still smoldered inside him, refusing to give up. Carter was sure that Nick held a secret that could make him lose everything. Some information about his past that Nick accidentally learned. That made him lose control more and more, becoming more ferocious every day. He changed tactics constantly, sometimes physically torturing, sometimes psychologically flirting. One day Carter talked like an old friend, the next he beat him like an enemy. But Nick gave nothing away. He kept quiet, letting his mind drift into the darkness, pretending to be completely broken, pretending to trust the madman, just to let him be complacent in the moment he needed it. During the last days of his captivity, Nick began to observe everything in the decaying room more closely. The peeling walls, the rusty bed frame, the nailed-up windows, and the small wooden table where Carter usually kept the handcuff keys, the phone, and a flashlight. Under the bed, he discovered a broken metal bar. The frame was bent, with sharp edges. He hid it carefully, waiting for the right moment. Every time Carter opened the door and entered, he watched every step, every breath, every gesture, learning his habits like a last-ditch survival habit. Then the fateful night came. Carter, after drinking a few glasses of whiskey, relaxed his body, turned on the loud music, swaying to the chaotic sounds in his head. In his drunken complacency, he carelessly left the key on the table without thinking that the person in front of him still had the ability to resist. Nick's eyes flashed with a glimmer of clarity after many dark days. He slowly breathed evenly, adjusted his heart rate, waited a little longer to make sure Carter was completely off guard. And when the music changed to the chorus, he gently slid his hand to unlock the handcuffs, avoiding making any sound. Not a sound. His heart was pounding, but his eyes were cold. Nick bent down, reached under the bed, and tightened his grip on the rusty iron bar he had prepared in advance. Under the dim light, he stood up, step by step approaching Carter, who was still absorbed in his own fantasy world. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and then, in a moment of instinct stronger than any fear, Nick swung the bar. The heavy sound of the bar hitting Carter in the back of the head. He fell forward, the music drowned out by the sound of his body collapsing onto the cold floor. But Carter wasn't dead. He groaned, scrambling to his feet, his face twisted in pain. His eyes were filled with rage, wild and insane. Blood seeped from the wound at the back of his head, but he didn't stop. A roar rang out, and Carter charged at Nick like a wounded animal. The struggle was fierce. Fierce in the small space. Chairs and tables crashed, windows shook, the floor echoed with the squeak of skates and angry screams. Nick struggled to keep his grip on the bar. But Carter was too strong, too reckless, and was fighting like a man with nothing to lose. The two rolled on the floor, blood staining their shirts, their breathing ragged and their screams mingling. Carter pressed down on Nick, his hands squeezing his neck as if he wanted to crush the last life in the other's body. Nick's eyes were dizzy, but with the last bit of strength he had left, he struggled, thrusting the iron bar back into Carter's body. The sound of metal piercing flesh rang out horribly. Carter jerked, screamed, then let go of his hands. blood gushing from his chest like a dark red stream. Nick rolled over, gasping for air, his body shaking, his face covered in sweat and blood. Carter lay motionless beside him, his eyes wide open. Lifeless, motionless, eyes that no longer held anger, no longer held anything. Silence hung over the room like a mourning veil. Music still played from the old speakers, now sounding like a sarcastic funeral dirge. Nick did not cry, nor did he scream. He sat there, between death and life, in the most fragile moment between loss and freedom. He was not sure what awaited him beyond that door, maybe the police, maybe others chasing him in the dark, maybe a whole journey of escape. But the only thing he knew was that Carter was dead. And for the first time in his long captivity, Nick could breathe, just a weak breath in the air that reeked of blood and metal. Without a moment's rest, he searched for his car keys, his phone. Any clue to his current location. He knew time was not on his side. Every second that passed was a step closer to another danger. But the important thing was, he survived. With his own hands, Nick ended the nightmare that Carter had created. And from the dark shadows of the abandoned house, he walked out limping, bloody, but a free man. A new beginning. With scars that would never heal, but also with a strength that no one could ever take from him again. Thank you for following Nick's tense journey in this episode. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the next shocking developments from The Young and the Restless. Where secrets are exposed, conspiracies are revealed, and life and death moments take viewers' breath away.